But out of the 3 steps to a better life, the number one thing you can do for more money, more power, and more success, it's definitely not what you think it is. It's actually really simple. Look, all you need to do is...
This is the Unlock Success Podcast. We're helping entrepreneurs around the world dive deep into the keys you need to shatter excuses, believe in yourself, and help you achieve your highest goals. Here's your host, 8-figure entrepreneur and the living legend of internet marketing, Anthony Morrison.
Hey, everybody. Anthony Morrison here, and welcome to this episode of the Unlock Success Podcast. I'm excited you're here. I hope you're excited that you're here as well. Today, we are going to talk about the 3 steps to a better life. Now, I'm not talking about 3 steps to more money, 3 steps to, anything specific. It's 3 steps to a better life. Look, I think we all know what constitutes, a better version of life as we know it. And I think we kind of all fit into these buckets. We want more health. We want more wealth. We want certainly more happiness in our relationships, right? So there's these 3 things that we really focus on. It's our relationships. It's our our wealth, which kind of gives us time freedom and the ability to do things we love. And then of course, obviously, it is our health. And I think that the number one step that you need to take if you're looking to live the better life, right? Like one of my buddies, Ty Lopez, he has a whole apparel line. It says "Live the good life," right? Like the good life, and I think there's a little difference in the good life and the better life, right? I think that if we're trying to live a better life, I think the number one thing that we have to do is we have to stop listening to other people, right? At least the people around you that are trying to bring you down. You've heard people call them dream stealers. You've heard people call them all kinds of different things, right? But it's the people in your life that don't believe in you. It's the people in your life that don't lift you up. It's the people in your life that don't inspire you. It's the people that are deflating you. They're always pulling you back. They're always telling you that you're making the wrong decisions or placing doubt in your mind, right? The truth of the matter is, especially in today's world, okay, especially in today's world where you can hop on a podcast like this, or you can watch a video on YouTube, or you can look at something on Instagram. The thing is, we oftentimes are asking people or getting information from people that aren't even qualified to give us good advice. And what happens is that bad advice, it accumulates, right, over time. And it pushes us in the directions that maybe we would not otherwise go. It pushes us to maybe make decisions that we would have never made before, right? And I mean, look, how many times in your life have you had somebody come up to you and you've said, "Look, man, I got this great new business idea, right? I've got this awesome new business idea, and I'm going to do And they say, "Yeah, man, but I mean, do you really think that kind of stuff works? Like, don't most people actually fail at those kind of internet businesses, Don't most people fail at that kind of stuff? Or how many times have you gone, to a friend or to your spouse or to anybody, right? And say, "You know what? I'm going to start working out. I'm going to be a little healthier," right? And they say, "Yeah, right. Like that's not you. You're not going to do that. I know good thought, but you're probably not going to really follow through." Instead of lifting you up, they plant these little negative seeds, right? Negative seed after negative seed after negative seed. And here's the problem. All of those negative seeds, they accumulate, right? They're cumulative in nature. And then all of a sudden you find yourself truly believing that, "Oh yeah, no, most people really do. Yeah, you're right. Most people really do fail. Most people really don't do well when it comes to that whole internet marketing thing or this other, whatever business type it might be, right?" And so you find yourself delaying, right? You delay and you delay and you delay. Same thing with going to the gym. Somebody says, "You probably won't follow through with that. You're probably not really going to go every week like you say you will. You won't stick to it. You don't stick to anything," right? Again, bringing you down. And then you start to think about that and you're like, "Yeah, I probably won't." And so you don't go to the gym that day, and you don't go to the gym the next day or the next day, right? And then ultimately what ends up happening is you wake up 6 months later and you think to yourself and you look and you say, "Wow, I never followed through." How many times in your life have you had a plan to do something and not followed through with it? And now take those times in your life and work backwards and look at how many people told you something negative between now and the time that you had that idea. You'll find that there's a lot of those people in your lives. People do it in relationships too. They say you pick the wrong people, you go to the wrong places. You have expectations that are too high. You have this, you have that. They make you start to put all of this self-doubt, right, about you and what you want and what you think and what you want to be able to accomplish and what you want to be able to do. And then all of that is a reflection of how you end up living your life and the things that you end up doing. So the number one most important thing that you can do right now is eliminate the negative people from your life, right? This gives you control. It gives you control over your thoughts, over your actions, and over the things that you actually accomplish, because other people are not there bringing you down and holding you back. So number one, don't listen to other people, especially the negative people, right? Number two, focus on specialized knowledge and self-education. Now listen, if you've listened to my other podcast, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm not a big proponent of college. I believe that college is this wide net, right? They say, look, learn a bunch of stuff, right? And then you go and you learn all this stuff and none of it really matters, right? It's interesting. My wife is actually going to school right now for something specialized, right? She wants to do something where you can't do it without going through some college classes, right? So there's certain professions. You want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, all these things. You've got to go through college in order to get there because that's just the way that it happens, right? You can't get the degree and the license without going through the schooling. But what's interesting is they made her take an assessment, like a math assessment test, right? Now, what she wants to do she'll never use math, right? She'll never use math. But she has to take this math placement test. And I thought it was pretty interesting because we were looking at each other and we were thinking, like, would it be better to let like your nephew who's in like 9th grade take this test than you? Because neither of us remember algebra. We don't even know how it works, what it does, why is there a letter here and a number there? Makes no sense. But yet we spent all of that time when we were younger learning how to do it. Now, can you explain to me why? There's no reason whatsoever to do that, other than someone tells us that we have to, right? So there are many companies now that are getting smarter, right? Google, Facebook, Apple, ours. Many, many companies that are getting smarter. And they're hiring people who have specialized knowledge, not college degrees, right? They don't want to hire somebody who spent time listening to teachers, right? Who aren't even practicing what they're preaching. They're only teaching, right? What they want to do is they want to find people who are actively doing something, right? And hire them. And that's how you should go. That's how you should go about learning and acquiring specialized knowledge. If you want to do masterminds, find somebody that's doing masterminds at the highest level possible. Go to them, reach them, get to them, and say, "Teach me how to do this." Right? If you want to learn how to do yoga, or you want to learn how to build houses, or you want to learn, it doesn't matter what it is that you want to learn, find a professional. Find someone who's doing that at the highest level possible. Go to those people, listen to those people, learn from those people, work with those people for free. Because here's the thing, I have 15 years of knowledge in the internet marketing space, right? And if you could sit in this room with me and let me teach you internet marketing, I can condense 15 years worth of knowledge into 3 to 4 months worth of education. Or you can read a bunch of books and go to a internet marketing class at a college and learn from someone who's never made $1 on the internet doing anything. And they can teach you internet marketing, the concept of it anyway. And you can try to go implement and learn it on your own. The fact of the matter is that with the evolution of the internet and social media and communication, we can now find people who are at the highest level of knowledge in their space, and we can learn from them. We can make them become our mentors, right? And so we're learning from someone who's actually doing, and we're acquiring that specialized knowledge, which is so very important. And here's how important it was and how important it is. is that this is not like a new thing, right? It's interesting. I spoke at an event for the Napoleon Hill Foundation about a decade ago. It was a charity event, and it happens to be where I met my wife's parents, who then introduced me to who is now my wife, right? And so oftentimes when I hear Napoleon Hill's name mentioned, it brings back some fond memories, I guess. But in 1937, Napoleon Hill said that generalized knowledge, right, just knowledge of a bunch of stuff, will never give you the depth, the income, or the results that specialized knowledge will give you. This is in 1937. Okay, 1937. This is forever ago. That someone has the foresight to realize that generalized knowledge isn't going to help you create more income, isn't going to give you the results that you truly want. If you want to be the most in shape person on the planet, go find someone who is in shape, doing it at a high level, and let them teach you, right? If you want to be the smartest, best investor in stocks, then go find somebody who's doing that and study under those people. Don't spend 6, 7, 8 years going to classes on stock investing. Go find the person who's doing it, not the person who's teaching it, and get them to teach you, right? We oftentimes in our space, we call this mentoring, right? And that's the true term, right? Like the money and the power and the success is in mentors. And when you have mentors who are actionably doing stuff, they're the people that are at the highest level of their game, that's how you win, right? So focus on specialized knowledge, self-education, and you're going to be able to get more income, have better results, and ultimately live a much better life, right? And the third thing is something that I do every single day, and I love this, and it helps me live a better life. And it is getting specific about what you want and taking notes, writing goals, and journaling, right? A lot of people call it journaling. This is not really a term that I use very frequently, but I have a notepad. Clearly not here on the podcast set, but I have a notepad at my desk, and I've been doing this for years. Now, first of all, I know that there are a million apps on your cell phone right now that you can click and take notes on. I know that there are 150 different ways that you can use the computer to remind you of this and alert you of that. But here's the thing. When you write down your goals, okay, and you write down a plan to achieve those goals, it's almost like a micro commitment, right? We put so much into the apps and our phones and stuff that these are not really commitments, right? It's something about writing it down that truly helps you to achieve and to feel like you need to achieve what it is that you're looking for. So here's my process, and hopefully this helps you. Every day, what I do is at the end of the day, I write down a list of things that I need to accomplish the next day, okay? So I'll say, hey, look, I need to do this tomorrow, I need to do this tomorrow, and I'll make a list of the things that I need to do the next day. When I wake up in the morning the next day, that's it. That's my list. Like, that's what I'm working on. And unless something major important comes along, I'm working off that list. And I'm banging through that list as fast as I possibly can, right? Getting done the things that need to get done. Therefore, reaching these goals, right? Achieving the success that I want to achieve, finishing things and not procrastinating them, right? At the end of that day, I look back at what I wrote on that paper and I see, okay, how much of this did I accomplish? Like what did I accomplish? What did I not accomplish? And I reassess. I say, okay, let's say there are 8 things on my list and I finished 6 of them. Okay. And I got two things that are left over that I didn't get done today. Now what I do is I make a new list. All right, what do I need to get done by tomorrow, right? What are the new things that happen? Because look, there's new things happening every day in my life, right? And probably yours too. And so I'm thinking to myself, what are the new things that I need to write down? And I write all the new things down, okay, on my list. And then I add the 2 things that I didn't finish today to the bottom of the list. Add them. And I look at it and I say, okay, what is the highest priority? Like, what are the things that need to get accomplished most? And I kind of prioritize those things, right? Leave them on the list, wake up the next day, same process. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Here's what it'll do. It will cause you to spend your day doing the things with the highest level of priority and not bouncing around all over the place, right? So many people, so many entrepreneurs, their problem is focus, right? And it's because your phone dings and then somebody texts you and then you get a WhatsApp message and then Instagram pops up and then Facebook dings you. And then all of a sudden you've got an alert. Somebody went live on YouTube. Then your emails start popping in. Somebody knocks on your door. You've got a delivery coming because you ordered from Amazon Prime. You've just got so many things. Your head is just bouncing around. I look at life like a pinball machine. And humans are the little balls that are just bouncing around left and right, and somebody else is clicking the buttons and pushing us where we need to go, right? And if that's the case, and if you're living your life like that, where somebody else is pressing the buttons and you're just bouncing around where they push you, you'll never live the better life. You'll always be frustrated. You'll always be stressed out. You'll always, feel like you're not accomplishing things, right? Because you're not really on your own path. You're on the path that somebody else has pushed you to, even though you don't really realize it, right? And it's all these external influences that push us in these directions. And so for me, I live my life by my notepad, right? And every single day I have an agenda. Every single day I have a purpose. And every single day I feel accomplished. Because if I had 8 things on that list, and I can look and see that I accomplished 6 of them, I know that I'm 6 steps closer to achieving my ultimate goal, which is, for me anyway, for this, it would be massive success in my business. For you, it might be something totally different. And the point is that I know I'm working towards this end goal. And I know that I can see every day I'm achieving steps that are helping me get there. And I'm not just achieving a piece of one here and a piece of one there and a piece of one over there, and then 4 hours of my time is robbed over here. The hardest thing for an entrepreneur to manage is their time. It's not even your knowledge. Like, it's very simple. You can look at the 3 steps to a better life, and you can say, look, one of those steps is knowledge, is specialized knowledge. Thank you, Anthony. I got it. I'm going to get specialized knowledge now. And that's that, right? That's simple. That's a simple decision. It's an A-B thing. Either you want specialized knowledge or you don't, right? Either you're going to get rid of people that are negative influences in your life or you're not, right? That is an A-B thing. Time, though, time is difficult because it's hard to monitor. It's hard to see. It's hard to even self-assess, right? I had a buddy of mine that tried something very interesting. And I thought he was crazy at the time for doing it, but ultimately, I think it worked out really well for him, and I think everybody's different. He had a timer, like legitimately had a timer, right? And he would walk in the office. He worked in our offices with us here. He moved here, worked with us for about a year or 2 years, and he would come in the office with a timer, and he would click that timer the minute that we started to talk about something, right? And it would be like, I don't remember exactly what his was, probably an hour, like an hour block, right? And when the timer went off, that was it. Like, it was time to move on to something else, time to do something else. The block for time for that was over with, right? He had a timer that went off when it was time to eat lunch. So like when it was time for lunch, he ate lunch every day at between the same times, right? Because he was on a timer. I mean, he was literally timing out his day so that he could accomplish everything in that day that he wanted to accomplish, right? It was very interesting. I always thought that this was, for me personally, that's not very appealing. But then again, I'm able to manage my time a little better because I take my notes and I stay focused on what I need to do for the day, right? Compare that to how my brother operates. Now, my brother's great. He's been massively successful, made a lot of money. One of the most successful Shopify marketers and educators in the world. And I see him. He struggles. He struggles every day, and he struggles with time management. He struggles with, his whole day will be spent, and he'll call me and he'll say, Anthony, I spent the whole day. I don't feel like I got anything done. And I'll say to him, Adrian, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel like you didn't get anything done? And he'll say, well, so-and-so messaged me here and I had to go do this and I jumped over there and I did this and all these things. And I said, Cut it off. Cut all of that shit off. Focus on what you have written on a piece of paper and only that. And have a specific time where you're willing to check your messages and check your, this, that, and the other. This is how high-level entrepreneurs work. Another one of my good friends, Dave Woodward. He's one of the owners of a software company called ClickFunnels, which they do massive things for so many people, and it's a phenomenal software. If you're looking to build an online business, check it out. It's just clickfunnels.com. No, this is not a promo for them. It's just came to mind that when I look at like when I send him an email, it pops back and it says, "Hey, I only check my emails once a day at 3:00. So if you've sent this email after 3, you'll get a response tomorrow. If you send it before 3, you'll get a response later today." Literally, he checks his email once a day. How many of you listening to this right now check your email every 4 minutes? Well, if you're checking your email every 4 minutes, how are you able to then do the things that you've got planned to do for the day? Because every day, every 4 minutes, there's something else popping in, right? You've got to be able to adjust the way you manage your time. Time is the most difficult thing for us as entrepreneurs, but it is also the most important thing for us as entrepreneurs, because people like Adrian, right? People like my brother that struggle with this never reach their peak potential because they're consistently and constantly struggling with getting it all done in a day because they're too busy bouncing all around, right? And so I've been helping him with his time management, right? Helping him learn, take notes and follow only those notes. Because imagine the amount of success he could have if he's at this insane level of success without really being able to harness his time management, right? Imagine what he could do with control over that time management. And I truly believe that having a plan, having a goal, a journal, if you will, but certainly a notepad with your list of here's what I got to do, here's when I have to do it, and these are the only things I'm focused on today, is going to help you achieve that. So hopefully you have learned some things here in the 3 steps to a better life that can help you live not only a better life, a more successful life, a more stress-free life. Look, ultimately, if you make millions of dollars, but you have so much stress that you can't enjoy it, you're not really living a better life. And if you have the best relationship in the world, but you're dead broke because you can't really make any money, because you can't really figure out how to manage your time and get it all done, and there's people pulling you back and they're telling you you're too stupid and you can't do it and it's not going to, guess what? You're not really living like your better life, right? And if you spend 8 years in college learning from people that aren't doing a damn thing that they're teaching you, right? Nothing. And in that 8 years, you're not making any money, so you're not building for your future, right? And you're struggling, and then that financial struggle causes you struggles in your relationship, and your struggles in your relationships lead to breakups or divorces, and you're not really living your better life, right? So ultimately, these 3 things are so very important. Eliminate the negative people in your life. Surround yourself with positive people, because let me tell you something, as you excel, as you create more success, and as you bring more successful people into your circle, it's like a seesaw effect. The successful people come into your circle, and just by sheer force, right? Because you've now changed who you are, you've changed what your expectations are, the negative people begin to just push out of your life, right? Because they don't want to be around all these positive people that are talking about doing great and making money and having success and you can do it, and they don't want to be around that they don't want to see that kind of stuff, right? And so ultimately, when you surround yourself with that good circle, that smart circle, that inspiring circle, you'll get rid of all of those negative people and the people that bring you down. And then you focus on learning what you need to learn and not paying attention to anything else, right? Stay focused on specialized knowledge, and then have actionable steps each and every day when you wake up. These are the things that you need to do, and this is how you're going to achieve your goals. If you follow these 3 steps, you can have a better life. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Unlock Success Podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time.